I know what you're thinking.
How about a national championship, though?
You haven't won one either.
Yeah.
So, baseball's back. The Arkansas Razorbacks are 30 games into the 2025 baseball season. And so far, it's been okay. With a record of 27-3, there's never been a better start in school history. And just like Hansel, they're so hot
right now.
It hasn't been an easy road to get to this point either. In the 3 completed SEC weekends, 2 of them saw the Hogs go on the road against top 15 teams. Even so, in those 6 games, they already have more road conference wins than the legendary 2018 team had all season. Okay, so they've won a lot. But in case that's not enough for you, let's look at some of the margins of victory that they've been putting up. Through 30 games last year, Arkansas had outscored its opponents by a total of 141 runs. This was extremely impressive. It was the most lopsided total scoring margin in the Dave Van Horn era. Second place was the 2010 team, which outscored its opponents by a total of 134 runs. No other team has been better than plus 120. In 2025, however, the Razorbacks have outscored opponents by 175 runs, absolutely dwarfing the record-setting performance from just last season. They're winning by so much that it's starting to feel weird when they even play an entire game. 9 of the 30 games so far this season have only gone 7 innings because Arkansas run-ruled its opponent. That's 18 innings of baseball that have been removed from existence because it was deemed against the rules of the sport for Arkansas to be that much better than the other team. Save that away for later. The biggest story of the year so far has easily been the offense. Basically, think of any way that a batting lineup could improve from one year to the next. Arkansas has done it. That's probably even selling things just a little short. I mean, they aren't just considerably better than they were last year. Pretty much any way you slice it, they're among the best they've ever been. I tweeted out some stats recently that I'll update here. Through 30 games, Arkansas has 6 batters hitting .345 or above. That's insane. Since 2003 to this point in the season, the most they've ever had was 3. They've doubled that. In 10 of those seasons, they had either 1 or 0. In the 21 seasons from 2003 to 2024, there were 7 Razorbacks to have at least 35 RBIs through 30 games. On average, that's about 1 every 3 years. This year, they have 3 at the same time. Looking at runs scored by a single player, prior to this season in the Dave Van Horn era, Zach Cox had the most through 30 games, scoring 39 runs back in 2010. Vahiva Aloy is right on his tail with 37. Brent Iredale's also in striking distance with 36. Charles Davalon, though? He broke Zach's 30-game run record 5 games ago. He currently has 46 on the year and is in a league of his own. With so many great individual performances, it shouldn't be surprising that Arkansas as a team ranks near the top in just about every statistical category. They're currently ranked 14th in batting average, 18th in on-base percentage, 4th in home runs, 10th in scoring, and 5th in slugging percentage. I was able to pull the data to see where recent Arkansas offenses were ranked nationally at this point in the year. Going back to 2012, if you took the average of each team's ranking in these 5 categories, only 2 of them are in the top 25. There's the 2021 team, which basically went wire to wire as the number 1 team in the country, but other than the home runs, even that team wasn't hitting the ball like this year's squad. The only other season on this list that is truly comparable to what we're seeing now was the 2018 Razorbacks. They were in the top 10 in all 5 categories, and that team was a strike away from winning the national championship. Through 30 games, the 2025 Razorbacks have scored more runs than any other team since Dave Van Horn was named head coach. And if that's not impressive enough already, you remember that thing I told you to save away earlier? You do remember, right? They've done this despite losing 2 full games worth of baseball. When you look at runs scored per 9 innings, they're nearly a full run per game better than second best. Last season, I did this fun thing on Twitter where after every Hagen Smith start, I posted a graphic tracking his progress towards breaking the school record for strikeouts. It became pretty obvious early on that he would have a good chance of catching it, so it was fun to kind of follow along and track his running total as he approached the record. But this year, you would need an entire dashboard of graphics to track all the school records that might get broken. Here's an entire dashboard of graphics tracking school records that might get broken. Starting out with the team records, they're currently on pace to break the single season record for most runs scored, RBIs, home runs, and total bases. Now there's some uncertainty when projecting where they'll finish in these categories for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're probably not going to keep up the same pace that they have so far. The competition's only going to get harder from here on out. But also, we don't know exactly how many games they're going to play. Last year they played 60, but that's mainly because of an 0-2 SEC tournament and then an early bounce from the regional. Tennessee, who made it all the way to the national championship, ended up playing 73 games. The home run record looks to be the safest bet to be broken. They're currently on pace to eclipse the 2021 team with 5 games to spare in the regular season. For the individual records, Charles Davallon is all over the runs scored mark of 87. He also has a decent chance of recording more hits in a season than any Razorback. The oldest record on this list is Jeff King's 82 RBIs back in 1985. This record has stood for 40 years, but Arkansas has 2 players on the same roster that have a real chance of catching it. One guy you don't see listed on any of these is Vahiva Aloy. I didn't put him on here because he's not currently leading the team in any of these stats, but if they play enough games, he's within striking distance in all 3 categories. Like I said earlier, offensive production will slow down a bit, and most of these records might not end up being broken. But with how hot they've been over halfway through the regular season, and with how many games they could end up playing, that might not matter. After the last couple years, Arkansas fans could not be happier watching the Hogs absolutely rake the way that they are. To go along with that role reversal though, I've seen a lot of concerns from people about this team's pitching staff. To be fair to those fans though, they are ranked 9th in ERA, and there are 16 teams in the SEC now, so that's not terrible, but you probably would like to see them be just a little bit better. They're not 9th in the conference? They're 9th in the nation? By the way, that placement of 9th in the country through 30 games is the 4th best ranking Arkansas has had since 2002. They're also 4th in the country in walks allowed per 9 innings and 2nd in strikeout to walk ratio. Brief aside here, I think they're 9th in ERA, but it seems like you get a different answer depending on where you look. For example, after this past weekend, the NCAA website said Coastal Carolina had allowed 95 earned runs, but D1 Baseball said they'd given up 97. What does Coastal's official website say is the right number? Neither. They split the difference with 96. Stat keepers, what's going on? Are we rolling dice here? Lock in! Sorry, I'll calm down. It's just, I work a lot with data, and when numbers don't match up, it makes me cranky. So we've covered hitting, they're really good, and we've covered pitching, they're really good too. All that's left is fielding, and Arkansas is sitting in the top 5 in fielding percentage and is 2nd in the country, allowing only 6 unearned runs all year. I want to focus a little bit on the fielding, because I think that's what really ties this team together and what sets it apart. They're not the only team that scores a lot of runs. They're not even the only team that also pitches well. Admittedly, Tennessee ranks higher in both. But they are the only team that does both of those things as well as plays elite defense. Arkansas is the only team in Division I that's ranked in the top 10 in scoring, ERA, and fielding percentage. No other team even ranks in the top 20 in all three categories. They're a team that, to this point, really doesn't have a true weakness. I mean, sure, they do some things better than others, and they have room to improve in certain areas, but pretty much everything that they do really well. To all the fans out there, though, that are really excited about this team, be excited. That's a good thing. I just spent 10 minutes talking about why you should be. But also, be ready. This is still baseball, and the next 30 games are going to be a lot harder than the last 30. This team is going to lose some games. There might even be some pretty bad stretches. But let's not lose sight of the big picture here. SEC teams have won 7 of the last 10 national championships, and every single one of them has lost at least one conference series. As we're reminded every year, this sport is all about peaking at the right time. And this team has the potential to make a lot of history. So let's just savor it, enjoy the ride, and watch them do it.